Hey guys, Joe at Berea Hardwoods here. What we're going to do is we're going to show you a new product that we have. It's called Artist UV Curing Resin. What it's going to do is going to save you some time and money from buying a pressure pot and some molds. But what I'm also going to show you is um, a way to do this. This is a circuit board blank that we sell. It's actually a sheet. This is a barren brass tube, and what I did was I basically took the sheet and cut it up so it would fit on the brass tube. So you can see it actually looks pretty good. You can see this is the seam here where I sectioned it up. This is the actual sheet going around, so it fit pretty well. You can pretty much do this to any of the brass tubes. Just buy a couple of the sheets and you can actually fit it onto any brass tube. So it's not just for a Sierra or a Sierra Vista type pen. You can pretty much use these on any of the brass tubes and any of the kits that we sell. But let's get started with this UV resin. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the resin over top of this circuit board. And what we're going to do is we're going to use thick beads. And we're going to go a little at a time. We're going to hit it with the light as we go around. You want to make sure that you guys are using UV glasses. So these, so it doesn't harm your eyes. So we're going to continue to go around. You want to make sure you fill in every bit of this, all the cracks, all the crevices. You don't want to have to go over it a second time after you're done turning, because you will get white spots in it. Doesn't have to be pretty. You just want to make sure that everything is filled in. And we're going to go over this a couple times before we start actually turning. So hit it with the light. It actually dries pretty quick. It usually takes about 2 to 5 minutes. Sometimes faster. You see it's already cured. But we're going to continue to go around. Now you can do this not only with the circuit board, but you can do this with labels. You can do this with a regular brass tube and nail polish. You can do this with mica powders. So basically it's endless on what you can do with this. The whole point in doing this actually was to eliminate a pressure pot. So we're going to continue to keep going around, filling in. So as you can see on the tip here, all you got to do is break it off. Again, just keep going. Make sure that you get the resin over top of the bushings. You're going to turn it down. You don't want to have, again, like I said, any crevices, any holes. It dries fast, so if it's drying too fast for you, you can always pull the light away and then lay down the bead, put the light back on. And do it that way, because like I said, it does dry fast. we're just going to continue to go around. And you can keep going around until you feel comfortable that it's all filled in. So we just keep going. And this is probably overkill for what I'm doing here now. I think I got pretty much everything now filled in. I just want to, again, make sure that I have everything, especially in this one. This one, seeing how it's got the circuits, they are a little higher than what the label would be. So I want to make sure that it's high enough. Now, seeing how this one is a Baron, the circuits might be a little bit higher than what you would on the parts. So I'm going to have to make this a little bit more pregnant than what I normally would. But we'll see how it looks when we get it turned. Let's get it down here a little bit more. I think we're almost there. I don't like this spot here, so let's do that. Take your time with this. There's no rush. You're not going to get, graded on how pretty it is. It's not a race to see who gets it done faster. Like I said, you just want to make sure that everything is filled in, everything is covered. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with what I got here. So we'll put the resin aside. Let's hit it with the light to make sure it's cured. Again, this is just the circuit board sheet that we sell, that I basically cut up with a pair of scissors and fitted on this is the cap of a Baron. I've done it with a Yari. I've done it with a El Grande. So it can pretty much be done to any of the pen kits. I mean, that's what makes it so nice. So I'm not sure if you guys knew that or not, but it wasn't just made for the Sierra or the Sierra Vista. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's all dry, so we can remove this, and then we can start turning. So we'll move up our tool rest. We'll bring up our tool. So this is probably about 1,800 RPMs. I usually don't go any faster. Turns like acrylic. It doesn't smell like acrylic, but it turns like it. Actually smells pretty good. A lot better than some of the acrylics that I turned. As you can see, it's not chippy. Now you might get something around here at the edge. but it shouldn't be too bad. Watch on how much of this stuff you really use, especially around the bushing area. If it does get behind the bushings, it will glue to the mandrel. UV resin is not only for what we're doing here, but I've used it as a finish, and it's also used as a glue. I accidentally stuck the bushings to a mandrel, and I'm still working on trying to get the bushings off that mandrel. Okay, so we're going to work this up over here because we know the circuitry is a little bit higher towards that middle section. And then again, we're going to do this same way. Work our way down. See? Okay, so it's right next to the bushing. Let's get this down here. I don't want it that chunky in the middle, but I can always take it down the rest of the way with sandpaper if I'm uncomfortable with it. But I'm not ready yet. Keep going. I still got plenty of resin on here to work with. Okay, so let's try this. Let's switch over to some sandpaper. Now you can dry sand this, you can wet sand it if you want, whatever you feel comfortable with. I've done both. Again, we still got plenty to take down if we wanted to. I mean, you can make it chunky. I haven't broke through the resin yet, so I'm not hitting the circuitry. Let's do something. Let's try a little bit of water here. This will help clean up the blank. Now I could have probably kept going with the tool, but I have probably more control with the sandpaper when it comes to getting it close to the circuitry. Bushings I'm not worried about. The circuits I was worried about more. So let's switch over to the next grit. That's not too shabby. Now again, remember, if there's a little pinhole because you missed something, you can always go back over it as long as you clear out that hole. If there's any kind of a white powder in there, I mean, it's not going to make you or break you. It's just, you just got to clear it out. So we're going to continue to work our way down. So right now, as you can see, it's already a blank. I saved what, $25 so far on a mold. I've saved $70 if I went to Harbor Freight for a pressure pot. I didn't have to buy all that urethane resin, worry about a scale, worry about how much mixture I have to do. I don't have to worry about what chemicals are in it, because there are some nasty chemicals in the one. If you look at some of the paperwork, it does have skull and crossbones on it, so you really don't want to be playing with some of that stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to stop here. We're going to grab a rag, dry it off. I'm going to go to use some plastic polish. You guys can use pretty much anything you want. Ultra gloss. You can use McGuire's. Doesn't matter. Any kind of polish that you guys use for your plastics will work. Give it a nice shine. I mean, come on, you can barely tell on the seam. That's pretty cool. So basically what I did was I used the sheet, the circuit board sheet, to do this. I used the Artist UV curing resin that we're going to be selling, a UV flashlight that we're going to be selling. We have the UV protection glasses, again, that we're going to have. It takes you probably, what, about 15 minutes to do this. You don't need a pressure pot. You don't need the molds. I mean, it takes you no time at all. So why don't you guys give it a shot. Again, you can use this for the circuit boards. You can use this for labels. You can pretty much use it for anything you want on the brass tubes. Give it a shot. It's not going to be that expensive. It's quick. It's easy. Take a look on our website, www.brewerhardwoods.com. If you guys got questions, give me a call. I'm always here to answer them. And we'll go from there, okay? Thanks, guys.